Okay, all right. Well, I'll keep.
Yeah.
I mean,
looking.
I think you usually, for the view, it's either the speaker or the gallery view.
No, I
Maybe it helps.
press on gallery view and I don't get the pictures. But that's all right. I can hear you saying who's here.
Okay, good.
I don't know why I don't get more.
Now I've screwed up my view.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, no problem.
No, I see Daniel and Peter.
I
Yeah.
don't see Daniel or Peter. Hello, Daniel and Peter, but I don't see you.
I moved to the right. I hit the
Hello.
right arrow.
Okay.
Miriam.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Miriam.
Oh,
Oh, this is great. This is like, yay.
Old home
Hi,
week.
Denise and Brent.
Way old home week.
Yeah, really.
Steve.
I don't know if the rest of Frank is here. I don't know about the rest of the HRP crowd from Ann Arbor. We're talking early 70s here.
You want to be on screen? No, you can be if you want.
We still have some folks joining, so I want to make sure that I'm going to wait until about 5 after, if that's okay with you. And then I know, Ross, your timing, are you okay right now?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
Okay.
gonna have to keep listening, but be quiet after 12:15 because I'm starting some students
12:15.
taking a
Okay.
test.
So if we start at 12:05, Ross is in between things, and I assured him that we would let him go early on so that he could have his time to share what he wanted to share. And so with everyone's permission, I'm just going to start at 12:05. I've got 12:03 right now, but people are jumping in the room here, so
Great.
you can continue to say hello and welcome people, or
Hi,
put
Nancy.
where you're from. You might want to put
Hey,
in
Carol.
how
Hi,
you know
dear.
Nancy.
So
Hi,
nice to
hon.
see you.
Wonderful to see you.
If you want to share how you know Nancy in the chat, we could always save the chat afterwards and
That
share
sounds
it with
lovely.
her. I'm sure she'd like that.
And Sally,
Nancy.
you can save the if you can record this, but that would
I
be
am. It's
great.
currently being recorded.
Great. Hey, Mukti.
Hi. Congratulations again.
Thank you, dear. Okay. I feel like we're waiting for
I'm
the party
seeing a bit of I'm seeing a slowdown here. So I think given that I have a dog here this morning, Bone, that's why I'm going to shush. I'm gonna just shut down that part there for a second and take a moment to welcome you all. Good morning. My name is, hang on, let a couple more people in here.
Hi, Catherine.
My name is Sally
Kim
Healy. I'm the executive director of the New York State Conference of the AAUP. We have a number of our AAUP folks here today, specifically Mary Rose Kubel, who is the president of the New York State Conference, and I know she has a few words, and several others. If you want to identify yourself in the chat, I know we're trying to keep this brief, and if we introduce all 40 people in attendance, that would take quite some time. So we're not going to do that today, but we're here primarily and enthusiastically to honor Nancy Romer, who honestly I didn't know before all of this. And I have to tell you what a treat and a joy and a blessing she has been in my life just since I've had that opportunity. So I can only imagine what it's been like for all the rest of you. And to be able to move things forward, I'm going to just very briefly let Mary Rose say a couple of words, and then we're going to turn it over to Ross, and then we'll open it up to other folks who would like to share. Several have already said that they had something specific, and others can just share as they would like. This is a ceremony honoring Nancy and all of her work. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to a real brief with Mary Rose, and then Mary Rose, if you could turn it over to Ross, and then you could continue talking, but he's got to go.
Will do. Yes, I just want to welcome everybody on behalf of the New York State Conference of the AAUP. I am currently the conference president, and it's really our honor to be able to give these awards and recognize the amazing accomplishments and work of our colleagues, and in particular, this award, the Francis Frank Higman Award, for service to collective bargaining chapters in New York State. It's only the second time that this award has been given, so that's exciting. And I will leave it to others who know Nancy to talk more about her amazing accomplishments. But I think it's worth noting, in particular, her work with the PSC Environmental Justice Working Group is the kind of work that's really existentially threatened today. And so I think that makes her work even more important, and highlighting that. And it's not just right in the ivory tower, which we get accused of doing, but really reaching out to our union sisters and brothers and the community. And I think, which makes it incredibly relevant and incredibly timely to be talking about. So we are honored to be giving this award to Nancy, and I will hand things over to Ross. Thank you all for coming. This is a great turnout, and I think shows how much her work means to all of us. Thank you.
Hi, thanks. Thanks for accommodating the schedule. I'm at Hunter College High School, which is run by CUNY, so I'm in the PSC, and I'm going to be giving a test momentarily, so I'll be listening in as best I can. And it's just been so amazing to have Nancy as an activist mentor in the Environmental Justice Working Group of the PSC, which I found in 2016, needing a place to find hope and inspiration and some productive work to do. And I've been serving as the secretary of that group for about 5 years. And in that time, really what that group has done has evolved, and that's been thanks to Nancy, really transforming our work from just meeting and talking about climate and environmental issues among ourselves to really bringing that passion to the union for taking resolutions places and to our campuses, and to really actively collaborating with outside coalitions as opposed to just talking about things and maybe signing petitions here and there. And so it's been so inspiring to me, just the tireless effort and the amount of work and connections that she has made with different campaigns, figuring out how to cajole people into making time for this, because we all know we should, but it's so easy to just do something else. And especially leading the charge recently on our participation in the Public Power New York Coalition, which helped to pass the Build Public Renewables Act and hopefully, make the law that New York should be building much more renewable energy than it is. And this year, we've been really working to make sure that New York lives up to that promise and that commitment. And so thanks to her, we planned and hosted Decarbonize CUNY town halls on 10 CUNY campuses. And similar to what Mary Rose said, really the Environmental Justice Working Group has kept me from feeling despair this year as things seem even harder and even worse than they were. But just knowing that there's a place to do productive work and where we can make a difference has sort of kept that more stable. So I really appreciate everything that she's done, and I know that she will keep it up and keep all of us honest on doing as much as we can do for the movement as well. So thank you.
I really appreciate that. What I'd like to do, I just noted a message from Nancy, and her sons are here, Pete and Dan, and anyone else. I understand that Pete, you've got someplace you need to be by 12:30. So if you would like to go next in honoring people's time schedules, I'd appreciate it if you'd like to go next. It'd be great.
Would you mind if I spoke next?
Nancy, you can, certainly. I was going by your text.
No,
you're
right.
on.
Okay. I know people have to leave, and I want to make sure, as Diane will attest, that I get to speak, because my retirement party, I didn't. It ran too long. Okay. And also I'm pretty overwhelmed by these two full screens of people coming in the middle of a workday, and I just am so appreciative. It's just beautiful to see faces that I haven't seen in a long time, because life, pulls you apart. So just thank you so much to the New York State AAUP, its American Association of University Professors, and Sally Dear Healy, and to my union, the PSC members and leaders who nominated me for this award, especially to James Davis, Marcia Newfield, Ross Pinkerton, and Eileen Moran. For those of you who don't know, the PSC, Professional Staff Congress of CUNY, it has a clunky name, but it is an American Federation of Teachers local that represents the 30,000 faculty and professional staff of CUNY, part-time and full-time. I've been active in the PSC since 1995, first helping to build a rank and file caucus and successfully overthrowing the old leadership, the do-nothing leadership. Sorry for those who were there. We won power in our local, and we expanded the membership dramatically, especially among part-timers, and created a social justice union. I served on the executive council of the union for 9 years, took a break to co-found the Brooklyn Food Coalition, and came back with the Environmental Justice Working Group of the union, and then returned for another stint, actually 2 more stints, at the union's executive council, which is the executive body that makes a lot of the administrative decisions and helps to direct the direction of the union. So thank you. The union has been my political home for all those years, giving me an institutional base, magnificent comrades, and a public university, its workers and students, to protect and be in solidarity with, supporting working class politics every day, especially in these treacherous times. Thank you to so many of you who have taught me, supported me, and been in solidarity over the years. You helped trace my history of growth and commitment and our shared projects. My first husband, Steve Burkhart, who's here, which is lovely, deserves an unusual and special mention, because back in the 60s, he encouraged and supported my growth as an activist and leader. My dear friend Nancy Holmstrom in 1969 demonstrated that women could think, lead, and be courageous. She recruited me to politics. It's all her fault. My dear comrades in the Ann Arbor Human Rights Party, Frank and others in the early 70s, together won 3 out of 10 city council seats for student radicals and transformed the city and our lives in the process. We're still meeting and supporting each other to this day. My life at Brooklyn College was pretty much a pure delight. It's hard to say that about work, but it really was. My students taught me so much, and several of them are here, and I really appreciate that so much, and helped to create great communities through our many political and service projects, especially the Brooklyn College Community Partnership, the Multicultural Action Committee, Women's Studies, and the 17 summers at Ramapo Anchorage Camp. And now my 2 wonderful ex-students, Lisa Nicotra and Lenore Seeley, are leading. They are the camp directors, and it's pretty wonderful to see that transition. My colleagues at Brooklyn College and at CUNY in general created a home to do serious and effective political organizing against bigotry, racism, sexism, homophobia, war, and class injuries. Being in a working class and international environment was so grounding and alive. Working in the environmental justice movement through the Park Slope Food Co-op, Brooklyn Food Coalition, People's Climate Movement, and the PSC Environmental Justice Working Group has taught me so much and created so much solidarity. I am forever grateful. Thank you to the comrades, alive and deceased, who allowed me to be an ally against the racist attacks in New Orleans in the aftermath of Katrina. As my dearly departed mother-in-law, Henny Friedman, said, What war are we in now? And so we work to end all the wars and international struggles in front of us. Vietnam, South Africa, Iraq and Afghanistan, Nicaragua, and the present genocide in Gaza. Thank you to my friends in U.S. Labor Against the War for helping to define those 21st century struggles. And thank you to Leslie Kagan for building so much of that work. My study group, Lust for Theory, or more pedestrianly known as the Park Slope Feminist Study Group, started in 1978 and is still going strong. Thank you to the 8 of you who helped guide my reading and thinking throughout. Sharing our lives together over those 46 years, books, trips, yoga on the beach, feminist charades, sadness, and joys have been a wonderful support throughout our lives together. To my friends from Park Slope, Vermont, Oaxaca, and Bolivia, thank you for making my life so rich. And for the best sister in the world, Susan, where are you? You got to wave. Hey, Susan Romer, how could I have lived my life without you? You are so loving and kind and able. Our several times a week phone calls are a boon to my life. Thank you for being my big and loving sister. We survived our parents and so much more. My partner and comrade Lou Friedman has been totally supportive and loving throughout the 50 years we've been together. He puts up with my frequent absences and obsessions and gives me the respectful and loving space anyone could wish for. Our sons, Peter Romer Friedman and Dan Romer, have carried out their own powerful versions of working for a just world. Peter is a civil rights attorney and Dan is a composer for film and TV. They fight the good fights where they can, always supporting unions and a just world. I adore them. We work for a better world for the people we love and the ones who come after us. I also thank my long gone parents, Harold and Betty, who were city workers, an environmental engineer, and a teacher, respectively, for giving me the love, security, and work ethic, with lots of issues, to be who I am. As an elder at 78, I wish all people a place to do good work, to elevate the lot of us, to do what is possible for a just world. Now is a time where our world is deeply threatened and we must respond with every fiber in our beings. I'm ready for the fight. Lucky to have a political base and comrades to work with and figure out how to fight fascism in our nation and beyond. I am so lucky to have friends and family to march together through this perilous time. I've left out so much of my work and so many of you. I apologize for that, but please know I appreciate you all. Thank you. That's my graduation speech. Thank you.
That was lovely, Nancy, and ever so meaningful. Would you like to invite your son to speak?
Sure. Pete, you want to go first? And Dan, you want to go next?
Sounds great.
Are you there, Pete? I do not see him. Okay, Dan, you're on.
Okay, great. Hi, Mom. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? I always love to see you.
I always love to see you too. Yeah, this is so cool. I mean, growing up, seeing you come home from work and, get on the phone, do your organizing, calling people for money for grants. You really taught me so much about work ethic and dedication to a cause. And it just meant so much to me seeing that. And then, afterwards, you would cook us dinner and you'd be an incredible mother. And then often you'd go back to your writing and to the organizing. And, it really deeply affected my life so much. And I appreciated seeing the way that you work and how your dedication was. And it's just so amazing that still after your retirement, you're still so active. You're still in all these movements. And even when you're on vacation, you go and organize a water saving measure. It's just so amazing that, I know your dedication so well. It's been such a central thing in my life, and it's so great to see it recognized by other people. And it's so great to be here and see it happening. And I love you so much with all my heart. And this is so fantastic.
I love you too. Thank you. Pete, are you here? All right. Let's keep going then. You know, I don't want to play favorites, so I'm going to ask Sally, would you pick people? Raise your hand.
I would like people to raise their hand. I know Marcia has had hers up for quite some time, so I'm going to recognize Marcia first. And then if you'd all like to, down in the bottom, you can do that little raise hand. Feel free to do that and whatever you'd like to say. Marcia?
Or use your real hand.
Or use your real hand.
Can you hear me? Yeah. I just want to know that I'm the one who nominated Nancy. Yay. Because I saw the announcement of the award and I thought, well, who better than Nancy? Another member had won it several years back, Cecilia McCall. And so what I said about Nancy in my application was that Nancy exemplifies stalwart. She is infinitely determined and courageous in communicating her values. She's a graceful and persuasive communicator, inspiring people to become engaged and active. And if there's any exemplification of perpetual motion in a human form, that's Nancy. She doesn't stop. And when some project goes a little down, she gets another project. So this woman goes. I mean, she is a model for following through and keeping nice about it. She doesn't get nasty. And that's a big thing. Some people get very, righteous and hit you over the head, but she's graceful. And I'm so happy that she's getting this recognition.
Thank you, Marcia.
Can I?
Someone's in the Union Hall. I think it's probably James.
James?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I don't know if you all can see how many people are gathered here. You have elected, you can, okay. So you have elected PSC leaders and so many staff, Nancy, to recognize you. And let me start though by just thanking Mary Rose and Sally for their wisdom in arranging for this ceremony to happen on Zoom. I know that the initial plan was for it to all be in Rochester, and just for the record, I'm in favor of more things always happening in Rochester, but this is really convenient for all of us. So Mary Rose and Sally, and to New York State AUP, thank you for arranging to have this happen here, and for honoring our colleague and my Brooklyn College colleague since almost the minute that I got to campus in 2003. I'm not going to tell you all the stories, but Nancy, everyone here knows this about her. The most striking thing about working with Nancy Romer is that her politics are very advanced and very serious. And at the same time, as Marcia said, she leads with her heart. The reason Nancy is so effective is that she is very, very serious about the politics and an unbounded generosity of spirit. That's why she's so effective. So Nancy, congratulations. And I think I just want to let everybody here say together that we love you. Can we say that all together, everybody? We love you, Nancy.
Love you, Nancy.
Thank you. Thank you. That's quite an array. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. You are my, you're my political home, and I I love being with you.
As Nancy's sister, can I take a turn now?
Yes, and then Lou's been very patient. So Lou, I see your hand up. He's up there next after you, okay?
Okay, great. Everybody has talked about Nancy's passion for social justice. And of course, my husband Don, who's here, and I agree with all that she's doing for social justice. The fact that her house in Park Slope has always been open for the last 40 plus years. And for meetings, for planning, organizing, and especially for eating. And there was always an open door. But I want to speak as a sister. I just feel so fortunate that I have Nancy as my sister because she is also my best friend. And I know some of you will claim best friend too, but I want you to know I am the best friend. So she has always been there for family, for me in particular, and we just love her so much. And this is just an indication of who she is, but the personal side is so great too, her desire for family and connection, and always on top of it so that things work, that we can come together. So we love you, Nance, and we are thrilled of this opportunity to make it public.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
And I will call on Lou.
Sorry, Lou, to go first.
You have to unmute.
I'm mute, Lou.
Bottom left.
It's Lou, but he has to unmute. You can't talk if you have.
I'll go help him.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Yeah, hi. I guess I'm Nancy's second person, a friend, since someone else is the first. Anyway, Nancy and I, we met a long time ago, 50 years ago, at a teachers union meeting, and the rest, shared politics and family, is basically history. We bought a brownstone in Park Slope, luckily, in 1978, a handyman special, and had two wonderful sons. And I don't know, Dan's here, but Peter, I think, was here, but he had to leave, I guess. We and 9 other Park Slope families created Bean Sprouts in 1980, a childcare program at the Methodist Church on 6th Avenue, even though we're not Methodist. That continues through today, actually. I go by them probably almost every other day and watch the kids playing. And it just reminds me of 40 some odd years ago. Both of our kids followed their interests. Peter became a civil rights lawyer, and Daniel, a composer for film. Very talented, both of them, which is incredible. Peter had 2 wonderful kids, Elon and Sylvie, and Peter recently married Tara, also a lawyer. Our family expands. I must say that the 50 years we've been together have not always been easy, but we've been an excellent family and always shared our strong political and social values. Onward to more of the above. Congratulations, Nan. I'll see you around the corner in the next room.
Thank you, Lou. Alice?
Unmuting myself. Somebody said that they'd known Nancy since they were at Brooklyn College in the 90s. Well, I think I started, what was it, Nancy? Maybe 1974. I joined the psychology department as an adjunct at Brooklyn College and met Nancy there. And I am in that study group that she mentioned that's been going on for at least 47 years. We always mention she was pregnant with Peter at the time. So we try to keep track of how long it's been. But what everyone has said has been true for all of us in the study group. I mean, she's really a pillar, as you would imagine, and how much she contributes in so many different ways. And so not only as a colleague, but just as a marvelous friend, I like everybody else on this, I feel so fortunate to have Nancy in my life and so pleased that she's getting the recognition she absolutely deserves. So go, Nancy.
Thank you. The name of our study group, well, that Allison and I tend to prefer, is Lust for Theory, and it comes from a cartoon of a woman holding her books to her chest and walking out the door, and the perplexed male in her life says only her study group can satisfy her lust for theory. So we just had to have that name. I'm editorializing.
Thank you, Alice. Banerjee?
Yeah. Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Mukti Banerjee. I'm the only South Asian face among the whole panel. I feel privileged that I know Nancy through Brooklyn for Peace and then Brooklyn Food Coalition. I think I know Nancy for last 15 or maybe more than that, 20 years. And I feel Nancy as my sister, my friend, and we share so many things together. And I'm so proud of her work. And she's a dedicated person, so intelligent, and raised her family and dedicated to her politics. I'm amazed how she managed all these things throughout our life. So many things I learned from her, how to manage both things. And I'm so happy that she got this honor. She's totally deserved for this. And many more years she will do this ongoing. And thank you, Nancy, for your friendship, for your love, and you totally deserve it, and keep going on shining.
Thank you.
Thank you, Banerjee. Z, and then Diane.
Hi, Nancy. Hello, everybody. I just I just want to speak as a newbie to let people really know how important it is that you always know what contribution you can make, no matter how many years you've been doing something, and no matter where you're going in your life. And Nancy is someone, when she speaks, she puts me to shame. I say, oh, that's so intelligent. Why didn't I think of that? First from the DA meetings, and then one of the nice pleasures of joining the EC and getting closer to some of the more active members is then getting to know Nancy better. So that's just my short and very quick statement that, we all have something to contribute. We all have a history. That's why history, humanities, the arts, so important, because it affects the mind and it affects the intellect, and those things are really important. That's what Nancy has done for me in this short time. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you, Nancy, and I look forward to really just being inspired by you and really just learning from you and gaining some of that energy that you have that I need. So thank you.
Thank you, Dee. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, I'm Diane, and I met Nancy in the year 2000 when she hired me to basically run the Brooklyn College Community Partnership. And I think for the 17 years that we worked together, she's the most overwhelming, wonderful person. And every place that you go with Nancy in the city of New York, you meet somebody who knows her, somebody who she taught, her students, her colleagues. I mean, you can't go any place without somebody stopping to say hello to her. But it's her students who she trained to be good citizens and who she taught by doing, because that's what the Brooklyn College Community Partnership was about, which was placing her students into community organizations to work. And we ran grants. Anyway, I hadn't planned on speaking, so I don't have a big speech to make. I've worked a long time with a lot of people. Nobody matches Nancy. So thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
That's really nice to hear. I'm sure she is extremely warmed by all of these
I
comments.
am. I'm verklempt. What can I say?
I've got Barbara, Aisha, and Jim, and then Janet. Barbara, you're muted.
Yeah.
Unmute, Barbara. There you go.
Barbara, you're still not unmuted.
Here we go. Sorry. Hi, everybody. Nancy, we usually walk on Thursday mornings, and so I now know why we didn't today, and I miss our Thursday walks. Some of you have talked about how far back you go with Nancy, but I don't know. How many of you go, I know Steve may, back to the Trotskyist organization, the IS. We were sisters and comrades together, and we argued and debated and worked together around a wide range of issues, especially union organizing, rank and file union organizing, and of course, socialist feminism. It was Nancy who brought me to Brooklyn College, and for that, I will be forever grateful. She enabled me to get into two of my passions, the School of Education, Social Studies education, and of course, the Women and Gender Studies. And in the past, I think it is almost 40 years of walking on Thursday mornings, we've solved every problem. Unfortunately, we don't have the working class army behind us to effectuate how we've solved all the problems, but we're still working on it. And this is a wonderful and well-deserved honor. And I'm enjoying, as I wrote, listening to all of you, watching all of you, and I'm kvelling. And happy holidays for all the holidays that we're going to be celebrating. And hopefully we'll be able to find some things to celebrate again.
Thank you, Barbara. Aisha?
Greetings from Chicago. I'm just so honored and humbled to be in Nancy's presence in every single meeting, in every single space. And all of the work that we're doing for climate and environmental justice across the country is stemming from Nancy's push, Nancy's work. And so when I see her in these national spaces pushing us in so many ways, it's incredibly inspiring and gives me a lot of hope in very troubling times. And so it's such an honor to know you, and I'm excited to see the work that we continue that impacts so many schools across the country, and truly proud and excited, well deserved for you to receive this award. Thank you.
Barbara, can you mute, please? Thanks, because whatever is in the background, we're all hearing it.
I've muted. It says I'm muted.
Oh. Okay. Sorry.
Never muted.
I'll keep trying to mute.
Looks like Jim is next, right? And then Jan and Carol Ann, who I haven't seen in so long.
Jim?
I'm here. Greetings from the People's Republic of Lockport, New York. Nancy reminds me a little bit of that old Buddhist story about the three blind men and the elephant of, one grabs the leg and says it's like a tree trunk, another grabs the tail and says it's like a snake. Nancy Romer is like, there's a lot of moving parts to Nancy Romer, and probably Lou is the only person who knows all of them. She's an activist in so many different realms. So three things I will say. Number one, the coolest thing in Nancy's house is a picture of her getting arrested in her cap and gown, because that is Nancy. You could just do a photo album of Nancy getting arrested. Like if her sons wanted to do a charm bracelet, they could just do a charm bracelet with little mini pictures of her getting arrested, and that would be the coolest thing ever. The second thing is my first incarnation of knowing and loving Nancy was when my family and I still lived in Bolivia, and I came and stayed with Nancy during our book tour about Bolivia, and then Nancy came and stayed with us. And it was just wonderful to have that Bolivia connection before we had this unexpected common connection of living in the same state. The last thing I want to say, and this is just a really fond memory, has nothing really political about Nancy, but after 20 years in Bolivia, my family and I moved back to the United States in the summer of 2017, not knowing that's what we were doing. And I landed on the 4th of July, and Nancy and I went in Lou. We went out to breakfast in Park Slope, and I just felt giddy to be back in the United States. And I could not imagine, after 20 years away, having a more glorious welcoming committee than Nancy and Lou. Nancy is an inspiration, and I can see you on Zoom, but I still see you in that cap and gown with a cop hauling you away. And we've never needed that spirit more than we need it now. So God bless you, my older sister.
Thank you, Jim.
I don't know. Didn't he just say?
And then Jan.
Yeah, but I don't know if that was metaphoric or.
Okay. No, he's not my brother. He's my metaphorical brother.
Or so you say.
Right.
Janet and then Carol Ann.
Okay, I'm going to be quick because there's not room to say all the wonderful things Nancy has contributed to my life. She's sometimes my conscience and turns me out for events I might not otherwise turn out for. But I just want to tell you a quick Nancy story from last week. I have spent my whole adult life working for universal free school meals, and I feel like I'm watching the work threatened to be completely undone. And I was complaining to Nancy on one of those walks. And she said, "Oh, no, don't look at it that way. This is an opportunity to organize. That's just the kind of thing that will turn people out for the town halls." And I have to say, Nancy, you really turned me around. And at the meetings in Maine yesterday and the day before, yep, it was just the thing to turn people out. So Nancy is a source of hope for me. She never loses sight of the long game. Thank you, Nancy, for everything that you do.
Thank you.
Oh, everybody has disappeared.
Carol Rose.
Your Zoom sharing or your screen sharing.
Yeah. Carol, can you come off and then come on again? I don't know how you're going to not
She
do.
needs to stop screen sharing. Let's see if.
Yeah, that might be hard. Carol, I'll call her. Is there anything?
Well, hang on a second. I think I can do this.
Okay. Oh, great.
There.
Oh, good.
Carol Ann.
Hi, everybody. Nancy, I haven't seen you in a while. It's been a while, but I always think of you. And whenever I get some political mail from Nancy, I just know that's the side I need to be on. Whomever Nancy endorses, I look at that and I know, okay, that's the person. I met Nancy, I guess it was 25 years ago. My dissertation chair and mentor at the time, Mike Fabricant, I was offered a position at Brooklyn College, and Mike says, I don't know if that's the best place for you, but Nancy's there. So I'll give you the recommendation. You can go there. So I started, and my first day I went upstairs and to see Nancy. And every day since, I was going upstairs. I was in sociology, and I think I was up there in Nancy's office in the Community Learning Center more than I was in the sociology department. And since then, Nancy became a friend and a colleague, basically to my entire family, and a mentor since then. And Nancy, your passion for justice, your unrelenting activism, I don't know how you do it, has inspired me and been part of my own growth, both as an academic and as an activist. And so I just can't think of any other person who could get this award. When I saw the email from Sally, I knew that I just wanted to be here. I just had to be here. So it's so good to see you.
Thank you so much.
Know so many people.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Jackie, if you could mute, because everything we're hearing from you is wonderful, but
It keeps unmuting. I don't know.
Lee?
Hi, let me trying to get there you go. Hi. I am Nancy's sister Susan's daughter, oldest daughter. And
Yeah.
Nancy is my favorite auntie. Can you hear me? What's happening?
We can.
Okay, no, there was a lot of chattering going on, so I didn't know if folks could hear me. I would say since birth, Nancy has been modeling and encouraging how to be in the world in a conscious, active way, and not just about things that are, on their face look like politics, but really about how to be a human being in a way that embodies the values that she and I share, and many of which she inspired me to adopt. I also really owe so many things to Nancy because she has always been organizing me, which I greatly appreciate. Because sometimes, right, you need a Nancy Romer. And years ago, I taught at CUNY, at both at Brooklyn College and at BMCC, the greatest teaching experiences of my life. And the way that started was, and at the BCCP, at the Brooklyn College Community Partnership. And all of that happened because Nancy said, "Hey, why don't you call my friend so-and-so?" Right? And I even got to TA for her, for Nancy, which was just amazing. But I really feel like I would have had a completely different life. If she didn't exist in my life, I would be a completely different person. And so the things I love most about my life often came from Nancy. So I am incredibly grateful for her showing me the way. And that I also really wish I had about half of the energy that she has, even half the energy that she'll have 20 years from now. But I just admire you so much, Nana, and I love you so much. And I'm so grateful that generations of students and your colleagues have had your support and generosity and kindness and brilliance to help us show up in ways in the world that, even though everything right now is very challenging, people still feel you help me still stay the course. And I'm really, really grateful for that. So love you lots.
Thanks, Lee, and others that have provided comments. And in light of people's time, I want to make sure that we keep this respectful. And if anyone has something else that they would like to say or some comments that they would like to share about Nancy, Nancy, if there's anything that you'd like to say, this would be a great time to do that. I see Julie, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I'm a relative newbie. And I've been working on the fringe with Environmental Justice Working Group, and I know Nancy probably primarily through the Decarbonize CUNY initiative that we started last summer. And I just want to thank Nancy for being the real inspiration to a lot of us, who are maybe should be doing more in the way of activism than we are. Just very appreciative of the work that she's doing and being the glue. I appreciate all the emails that she keeps sending us to keep us informed of all the different rallies, etc. Even if I don't make it to the streets, and we're trying to pass on those messages. And I just hope that Nancy, you keep continuing, doing this for many years to come and helping us make, as John Lewis would say, make good trouble where we can to try to make progress in the world.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to everybody. If there's anyone else who wants to speak, let us know. I got a message from my son, Peter, who had to be called off for work, so he was not able to be here with us. But Esther, did you have your hand raised or was
It's
that
me.
Oh,
We just wanted to
Danielle,
say that
let's
you're an
hear. Okay.
inspiration and for Nora as well, and that you make us all look like bums on the couch with how much work you do for everyone, all these causes. So
Well,
thanks, Nancy. Love you.
Thank you, honey. Love you too. From Danielle's point, I hope that I'm not a guilt inducer. I probably am. I know I am.
Oh, an inspiration, an inspiration.
But the truth of the matter is, we each do what we can when we can. And the beauty of a group is that you can rely on the people around you. And there's absolutely no way that any of us could achieve any of the things we do without the group, without the comrades, without the friends, without the family. It makes a huge difference. And I want to thank you all for being here. It's been for me a super treat. It feels like it feels a little bit like the Tom Sawyer thing of being at your own funeral, but it's just great. It's a combination of a graduation and a funeral for me. And I appreciate being here. And I just want to say something to my newer friends who I've met mostly through political work, and my ex-students who have become dear friends over the years. It means so much to me that that I have the privilege of having real relationships with people of younger generations. It makes a huge difference to me, and I just want to thank everybody for being here and for being in my life. And to the AAUP for giving me this wonderful honor, and the PSC for nominating me. Thank you.
Well, on behalf of the New York State Conference of the AAUP, I just want to say how absolutely thrilled we are that Marcia and others submitted letters for you, and that we got to both know you and honor you. Those of us who didn't know you already got to meet you and honor you with this award for what is very clear lifetime achievements, not only with your work with the CB chapters and collective bargaining chapters for AAUP in New York State and the PSC-CUNY, but just overall in general. And for that, we really thank you, Nancy. I see that Esther has her hand up. Esther, did you want to say a few words? You are muted, so just unmute first, please.
I think it's an old hand. That's what sometimes they say when I leave my hand up at a meeting. They'll say, "Oh, is it an old hand?"
It's an old hand. All right.
To all the old hands out there,
all the old hands.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going, and we can't give up.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today and for honoring Nancy in this very important way. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and go off and do good work.
Thank you. Nancy Holmstrom, you missed my thank you to you, but I'll send you what I wrote.